So Synchro, as we know, is a product of Bentley, and it's a construction management software. So as we go one by one, we've seen 3D drawings that we have in our 3D software like Revit or any 3D software. We create the drawings in 3D software and we create the schedule in any of the project management softwares like Primavera or MS Project. And then we come here to Synchro and connect them together. So we will see further how we go from 3D to 4D to 4D to 5D as it is upcoming in the market in these days. So again, Synchro is a product of Bentley and it is a construction management software. So what is basically 5D BIM? As I just explained, where you create a schedule as it shows here also on the screen. This is a schedule on Primavera. You create a schedule on the project management software because you call it Primavera or you call it MS Project. And then you take a 3D BIM model, could be taken from a Revit software. You can think from Naviswork, any 3D software, and then you can combine them together. This is way how your activities and 3D will run together on the screen. Then if you add a project costing to it, it becomes a 5D BIM. So when you combine a project schedule along with a 3D BIM model, it will become 4D. And when you add a project costing to it, it becomes a 5D BIM model. Then why 4D or 5D? So when we talk about why 4D or 5D, linking a BIM to the project management tool in an accessible and affordable way brings huge benefits to the planning process because we can see side by side on which activity we are in MS Project and where is it in 3D drawing. I'll just show you the software also towards the end. So we can see hand in hand or we can see side by side how a project management tool is linked with a 3D drawing and how we can see from starting to ending how our activities are going. And then further, it helps in improving of the design document quality by testing the design against construction sequencing. It improves the lead time identification, which can reduce the total construction duration. It helps you for the coordination and clash detection. For example, you have taken the field, you have as a construction manager, you must be taking drawings from the structure engineer, from the MEP engineer, from architecture. When all the drawings come together, we can check the clash detection. For example, there is no clash happening between the structure engineer's part or the MEP's ducting. So that all also can be checked in Synchro. And we can actually monitor the actual progress along with the planned progress. We can have multiple windows and we can see the actual progress along with the planned progress. Then next is, again, a definition of 4D, basically integrates a 3D model with project schedule. 5D includes cost and ability to track actual cost. And when we add safety and compliance, it turns to 60. So basically, it will show you a small video that how basically Synchro works. It's a visual, basically, of project management software. See, this is how this has been a video created. You can see the actual and the planned hand in hand on the timeline. On the above screen, you have the schedule here. Bottom, you have your 3D drawing. This is taken from MS Project or Primavera, and this is taken from any 3D model. So we have linked them together, and there here we can see our schedule, how it is working along with 3D model. We have assigned baselines. We can see the blue are the actual updates we've done. Green is yet to be done, as we've seen in the other project management software. So just a simple video that we're taking multiple files and connecting them here. So activity lines, your foundations, your walls, everything is above. And bottom, you have a 3D model. We are importing it, the geometry from CAD software, any 3D software. You can take CATIA file, you can take SketchUp file, you can take a Revit file, any file, and then we can link it here together. So this is basically the screen of your Synchro where we have connected both the things together. how it works basically. And then you can see two 3D windows updations on the 1C. This is yet to be done, and this is what is planned. MEP drawing can be seen. So you can see multiple different, see, this was planned. This is actually happening as per the baseline. So this is how basically the software runs both the things simultaneously. And then you can check the health key, where are the predecessors missing, and everything can be checked here. And you can quickly create your custom views and reports here to submit to the management. And this is how basically your software works hand in hand with two of the things together. We'll come to the questions soon. Somebody has typed the question. We'll come to that towards the end. So next is Synchro 4D is basically a digital construction environment that virtually and visually you can see how your drawing is running, enables the planning, scheduling, and controlling at the same time of construction execution. So visualize design, procurement, and construction, visual planning sessions with temporary works, updation of the status, adding of the costing, analysis and monitoring of your schedule, what if scenarios, optimize execution. You can get a wonderful dashboard for the project insights, as we just saw the custom reports were created. These all are possible with Synchro 4D Pro. As Gayatri also announced in her presentation, Synchro has the best in class interoperability with these of the softwares. So you can take your schedule from Saffron, you can take your schedule from Asta, you can take your schedule from Microsoft Project, Oracle, and 3D you can take from your Tekla, any of the Bentley softwares, Autodesk Revit, SolidWorks, Navisworks, IFC file, any file, 3D file converted into IFC can be taken here. You can add the schedule, you can add the models, you can add the labor, cost, equipment, whatever, and get the particular result of your project. Here also it shows you how a 3D model is taken from these softwares and how the schedule is taken. Then this is the 4D visual planning. As we saw, when we take the schedule along with the 3D drawing, we get the 4D schedule. So here is the schedule up, and it is connected with the activities below, with the 3D model below. So here is the 3D drawing which we've taken and connected to our activities and created the schedule. And then we all have heard about the critical path, the critical activities in our schedule. So we can filter out the activity. This is the filter applied, if you can see on my screen. These red are the critical activities. So only critical activities are seen in your schedule as well. So you can filter and create multiple views to show to your management, but these are the critical activities. This is the complete project. These are your critical activities. So the way you want to basically present your visualization to your management. Then next is your scenario comparison. This one, we have the baseline scenario and one is the happening on site. So we can have multiple 3D views to compare the scenarios. So this was planned and this is happening. So baseline is here and this is your actual work. Then you can add equipment. Synchro, we have a library where it already has the equipments where you want to show it on the 3D window where your equipment is running, so that you can check the clash also. Might be the equipment is not clashing any other object on the site. So then you can check the clash detection. So here is the small screenshot of dynamic clash detection, that this is our product and this is the equipment which is coming up. So it can help you to check your clash detection. Then earned value graph. We all have heard about earned value, the budget cost, the actual cost, and the earned value cost taken together Budget is the cost which you have planned, actual happening on site, and earned value cost is the cost as per the percentage of work done. So we can see this graph also along with the 3D drawing at the bottom, and then we can sorry, share it with the management, but this is our cost graph available. So you can see the lines as on we do in the training, so we can learn how to go in detail. This is, if you can see a blue line on the column, 3D resource, this shows what all 3D objects have been assigned on this task. So how many 3D objects are connected, you can see here. They can give you a number here. Then you have manage resources and 4D model. You have your resources along with the graph. If you can see the foreman, the carpenter, everybody has their own color and how much have they used, how much are sitting idle, and how many are overutilized. So these are our graphs which can be created here. And this is one by one for every task. So planned utilization for the selected resources only for the selected task. I hope visible to all.
Yes, Muskan.
Yeah, thanks, Gayatri. So here you have analyzing a 4D model and creating outputs. We have filtered different 3D models. Like here is a look ahead schedule. The red is your critical path, but these activities are your critical activities. And here we've applied the cutting plane, which you call it as a section, that after cutting, how my things are going to look like. So you can have multiple 3D views here to analyze the different scenarios of your project. Then here is your markup capabilities available in Synchro, where as a project manager, for example, you can mark up to the team that this dimension needs to be checked or this needs to be reworked. So there's a markup capability in Synchro where you can mark it on the 3D drawings and share it with your team that it needs to be rechecked or mention the dimension or recheck the dimension because there is some problem coming on the site with the dimension in 3D drawing. So everything can be done here, which is required as in more or less in construction. And then you can upload your drawings, documents, and photos. For example, there is a 3D photo, 3D render you have taken out from somewhere else. You can upload there, which we normally call it as hyperlink in other software. You can upload that here and keep it. So that whenever you want to see that GPG, if you can see here in the red box on the right hand side, there's a site uploaded, that's a JPG. There's a DOCS, that's your Word file, anything you have it. Two drawing files are connected here. So you can see at any moment of time on the documents, what all documents are connected to the particular task. So you can assign the documents to the task. Then this is a digital monitoring where we have the planned versus the actual. So this is your baseline. This was planned. The whole slab used to be completed, but it has done till here. So here you can compare your actuals along with your baselines. If you can see, the blue is your actual and the green is yet to be done. And the blue below this is your baseline. So one which is completed, those are two blue lines. One, this was your baseline and this is your actual. The green one is yet to be done. It was planned here, but it is already delayed. So you can have multiple different graphs, different bars to check. So this is the same actual plan versus actual. These are a few examples of digital monitoring here. We've taken the equipment also. It was supposed to be here at this stage, but the project is here at this stage. So you can compare in different forms. So here is again a small video how a digital monitoring of planned versus actual can be done. So you can see planned and the actual. See, the planned was so high, but actual is little bit low. These all are created with the help of animation feature in Synchro 4D Pro. This is how basically it shows you how the planned and the actual was. Then these are your appearance profile. Appearance profile means how your object should come on screen. It should be coming in the going from left to right, right to left, which color. Like if you can see piles have a blue color just to make it more signified, more prominent. Pile cap, if you can see, is in yellow in color and the slab is brown in color. This all you can decide as per your requirements. Then Synchro has its own renderer, as we call it. We have a renderer in 3D Max. We have a rendering software. Synchro has its own software, which own render, which we call it as iRay, integrated rendering engine, where you can render your 3D models like this. Fine. Can you see the 3D model at the bottom, which is already rendered?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, before moving forward, telling you about different options in Synchro, like field mapping, we have a small poll, Gayatri. You can switch on your poll.
Yeah, I'm doing that.
I'll stop my.
Muskan, you can continue.
Okay.
You can share yours.
So as we saw that Synchro has its own renderer. You can render the 3D model the way you can see it here. Then Synchro has a 4D field app, which you can download on your iPad, where you can, as a site supervisor or anybody, can update the updates from there, which can be taken to your Synchro with the help of cloud onto your system. So you can monitor the progress from the 4D construction model on your iPad. That's an iPad app basically. Access, capture, and communicate up to the minute information from the job site, even when offline. Monitoring of each and every task, like using site to review tasks and resource anywhere in the field of office. On a task and isolate the assigned resources in the model. You can update the task status or planned, started, or finished. Then you can update the status of the resources to basically break down the work for all the resources assigned to a task. Then you can set up your customized report on the basis of what all is done, flows, windows. And then you can update your work progress also, like whatever is done, whatever is left. You can send notes and photos from the site, where you can add a note or attach a photo to it, and then synchronize it with the .sp file. .sp file is the synchro file which is available on the desktop with the help of cloud application. Then Synchro, basically one is the desktop office, which we just saw the detailing. 4D planning with models, schedules, and resources can be done there. Then you have Synchro site, where from the app, from the iPad, you can update the data. It's iPad, no other Android. It's iPad basically as of now. Then you have HoloLens, which is basically to visual analysis and Clash. So it depends what if you're purchasing the software, what all you want to include in this. And then you have this Power BI Microsoft, basically creating your dashboards, the wonderful dashboards with your 3D views, the planned and the actual. And then you have your Synchro Open View, which is free at the job site at the office. So basically to open and use the 4D files created by others. So this is basically different versions of Synchro, where we first start with Synchro Pro 4D desktop version. So where we help 4D planning with, and then as much detailing you want iPad option, you want HoloLens and so on. Then which all industries can get benefit from here is manufacturing industries, airport, rail and transit. You can see few projects clips here. These are also your clips. Then basically the outcome and benefits of Synchro 4D, as we discussed, interoperability with different 3D softwares, along with different project management softwares. Then workflow, if the project planners wish to use a schedule that was prepared using a software system other than 4D planning tool, the later must be interoperable with the scheduling software and must be able to bi-directionally synchronize with updated versions of the schedule without losing any work. So on the other hand, if the planners wish to create their own schedule, that is also possible in Synchro. Not only that you have to take the schedule from any project management software, you can create your own schedules in Synchro 4D as well. Then you have the equipments. That's already a library in Synchro 4D Pro, where you can pick up the equipments, your JCBs and whatever required for your project. Then you can even record the safety incidents in Synchro. So this was basically a small presentation on Synchro. I will just show you the small software also, how do it works. Just give me a second. I hope my screen is visible for Synchro 4D Pro.
Yes.
As we
Yes,
just
ma'am.
saw in
Screen
the,
is-
thank you. As we just saw in the screenshots that we have this schedule can be put in here, 3D drawing can be put in here. On the left and the right, we have the detailing of everything. Like on the right hand side is basically the properties for the task or the 3D object, task properties, 3D properties. On the left hand side, whatever we want to create will be available on the left hand side. So I will just take one project management file from MS Project here and one 3D, which I've already saved in IFC file. I'll show you that. Go to File. So you can take this XML file. I've already converted my Microsoft project file into XML. So my tasks, my links, my calendar, resources, everything is going. If in case I want to skip anything, I can. So import completed successfully. 70 activities, 73 tasks have been imported. One calendar, which I've already created in MS Project. This is how you can take your schedule. And then at the same time, I'll take my IFC drawing also, which I've already created in Revit and we have converted into IFC and kept it here. You can take the Revit file also, but you need a plugin for that. So the file is here. So here is the 3D model along with your schedule. And these are like your objects, what you've taken from 3D, you can see it here. If you can see, you can select here, the whole thing gets selected. So we can simply go to each floor and I can assign it to the activities above. So whatever you select will be selected in your 3D model. Let's say we connect the first floor here, so we can connect them together. So then this is basically how we can connect the 3D along with the our task. And if you don't have a schedule with you, you can create the schedule on your own also by entering the activities below. And then you can check clash detection, you can add baselines, you can add anything, whatever we saw in the presentation. So now we had one question here on the chat box. Usually the BIM models are complex and have lots of elements. How much processing or cleaning up of the BIM model is required before it can be used in Synchro? It's not required much because you can filter it out here also. We can remove the activities from here as well. Remove the resources from here. So whatever we don't require in our model, but as of now, if you're connecting with your schedule, you will be needing the complete BIM model. The things which are not required, you can unload from here as well. So we are open to questions. Anybody, anything? Yeah, thank you. As of now, we cannot commit for AI, though it is generally it is going toward it, but as of now, it's still on it. It's basically integrate VR with Synchro system is in different ways you can do it. You can export data from Synchro in the file format of FBX or OBJ. You can choose a VR platform such as Unity or Unreal Engine, which supports VR integration. You can import into VR software where they exported 3D models into your VR chosen platforms. You can set up the VR environment, like configure the scene. You can add interactive various ways of doing it. So you can test on HR software also, VR software, sorry. Yeah. User manually update the progress. Yes, we can. And user does it if required. One, you have the schedule percentage, which the system tells you that this much work should be done. The other is the actual progress, which you update as per the site. Rohan, that might be required, depend which VR platform we are using. Otherwise, we can basically